Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, Dr. Milap.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good evening, all. May I, good evening, sir. May I request President of today's session, Professor Milap Punia, sir, to please give me permission to start the session.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah,
And
thank you, sir.
good afternoon, everybody. I could see
Good
some of
afternoon.
some
Good
of
afternoon,
our
sir.
senior members in geography,
Good
Professor
afternoon, sir.
Qureshi, Professor Aran Mishra ji. You
Thank
can
you,
see
thank
many,
you,
many, many legends here.
Yes,
thank you.
Please go ahead.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All respected sirs and ma'am, we have gathered here on 41st episode of online lecture series on founders and makers of modern geography in India on Professor R.C. Chandna, the legendary geographer, former professor and chairman of Department of Geography of Panjab University. He has served in the department for about 4 decades, from 1963 to 2003. Professor Chandana is worked in this department for many years and actively engaged his research and training in population geography. As I have mentioned earlier, that we have been following him for since many years, since our school days. So we are very proud to have him here with us. Professor
My
Chandana,
pleasure.
yes, sir, had privilege of teaching this course of postgraduate students ever since its inception in India. His field of specialization is population geography. He has supervised half a dozen of PhD students, over 40 and 40 MPhil dissertations. He has authored 20 books in the field of population geography, regional planning, and environment, both in English and Hindi. He has published over 60 research papers in Indian and foreign journals. His books are most sought for after by researchers, teachers, and students of not only geography but also other disciplines like sociology, economics, demography, and anthropology. His focus has been in population geography in all his research. He has published all his research papers in this field of specialization. He was founder recipient of Association of Population Geographers of India from 1978 to 2002. He has visited various countries like United States of America, Poland, Singapore on academic assignments. Those who wish appear to competitive examinations, that is IAS, NET set examinations, also his books are very much useful. As I mentioned in the beginning itself, that Professor R.C. Chandana has always been the source of inspiration for all of us, including many young geographers and researchers like me. So, welcome, Professor Chandana, sir, for this
Thank
particular
you. Thank
convention.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
May
you.
I now request Professor Gaurav Kalotra, sir, to give welcome address.
सभी गुरुजनों को सादर नमस्कार और सत श्री अकाल. I welcome you all to this 41st episode of the online lecture series on founders and makers of modern geography in India, which is being conducted by Institute for Environment Research and Rural Development at Patna. Now, this lecture series is devoted to the prominent geographers of this country. And Professor R.C. Chandna, he is one of the stalwarts of Indian geography. If Professor Gurdev Singh Gosal is known as the father of population geography in this country, then no doubt Professor R.C. Chandna has the privilege or the distinction to popularize population geography in this country by the way of the various books which he has written on the subject population geography. and his latest book, which is published in two parts, that is also excellent work of research and good for teaching and other academic purposes, uh, including the IAS and other competitive examinations. A few words I would like to say about Professor Chandna. I have been student of Professor Chandna, and I have learned a lot from him. I like to share one or two anecdotes with you. Once I was having some problem in my projections. So my supervisor, Professor RPS Gosal, he advised me to go to Professor Chandna and seek his help. So I went to Professor Chandna's room, and I told him that, sir, I am having a problem in this projection. So normally what we do is that whenever some students come to us for some problem, they take out some book or anything like this. But Professor Chandna didn't take out a book. He just took a plain sheet of paper and he drew the entire projection through his memory. And he told the merits and demerits to me within a few minutes. So this is his scholarship. Secondly, I was also a student of Professor Chandna, and he taught population geography in the class. And I didn't knew for many years that Professor Chandna came with a little slip what he had written. But for us students, Professor Chandna came to the class. He took the attendance, and then after closing his attendance register, he started from where he had left the previous day. And for 1 hour, he would tell us about the different aspects of population geography. Later on, I came to know that Professor Chandna came out with always came with a small slip in which he had written a few main points. But for us, it was just like that. He came, he delivered the lecture, and then he went. So this is about Professor Chandna. Now I'd like to say a few words about Professor Smita Bhutani also, since she is the one who will be delivering the Professor R.C. Chandna this lecture. Professor Smita had done her PhD thesis under the guidance of Professor R.C. Chandna. And I had also completed my PhD under Professor Smita Bhutani. So, and as Professor Chandna, Smita ma'am is also very particular about what has to be written, where it has to be written. If there is some, if there are some things which need to be omitted or some to be added, she just told me, and then I did that. So Professor Smita had also a very long association with this department, and she has been teaching for a long time. I think they came in the year 1990, if I'm precise, in this department. And from then till now, she has been teaching various courses, including climatology and map projections. She taught us map projections, and then a few courses of India also to us. And now she has moved from climatology and population geography to some other finer concepts like population aging, which is most eminent and which is the burning concept right now in the world, because the world population is aging right now. And in coming years, the proportion of aged population would be much higher in the country than the other groups of population. So without taking much time, I welcome Professor Ati Chandna and Professor Smita ma'am, and I'll request Professor Smita to, she can start with her lecture. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Gaurav. Professor Devinder, I have your permission. Professor Milapchand, I have your permission to start. Hello?
Yes, please. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. I will start with your permission.
I think before Professor Smita starts, I would like to thank Professor Devendra Prasad Singh for initiating this online lecture series of founders and makers of modern geography in India. And I think during COVID time, this initiative was taken and a appropriate use of technology is being made. And I think this has brought a series of lectures highlighting the geographers who have immensely contributed to the discipline all across the India. And I think in continuation of this series, today's lecture on Professor R.C. Chandna would be of great importance, since he has contributed to the Panjab University a lot, but not limited to that part of the world, but also to the whole geography fraternity. So I request now Professor Smita to please continue.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Are my slides visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Most Honorable President, Chief Guest, Special Guests, Distinguished Guests, Guests of Honor, Convener, Organizing Secretaries, my colleagues in the department, Intercessor Professor Devendra P. Singh, my revered teacher and mentor Professor R.C. Chandna, and distinguished audience. Before I begin, I offer my deepest regards, pranam, and respects to my teacher and mentor, Professor R.C. Chandna. I would also like to thank Professor Devendra P. Singh for giving me this opportunity to speak about the works of Professor R.C. Chandna and his contribution to the discipline of geography. I will start with a brief family background as desired. At the time of partition of the country in 1947, Chandna family shifted from areas now in Pakistan to a small town of Hisar, now in Haryana. His post-graduation in geography, that is 1961 to 63, brought him to the newly planned city of Chandigarh in 1961, when he got the opportunity to settle finally. His teaching career began with his joining the Department of Geography, Panjab University, Chandigarh in 1963 as a research fellow cum teaching assistant. He got married in 1967. He was fortunate to get a life partner, Dr. Usha Chandna, also from teaching profession. Dr. Usha Chandna at the time of the marriage was posted as principal SST College, Bathinda, Punjab, and was still pursuing her doctoral research from Kurukshetra University, Haryana. However, her marriage forced her to resign from the post of principal as the family decided not to have two-station life. Instead, she preferred to pursue her research in the philosophy of science until she was able to get a teaching job at Chandigarh. As if God had planned it as such, soon she got assistant professor's job in a local government college at Chandigarh in 1969, where she served all her life until her superannuation in 2000 as head of the Department of Philosophy after serving the same institute for over 3 decades. Dr. R.C. Chandna and Dr. Usha Chandna are blessed with 2 daughters, Dr. Neerja Chandna and engineer Gauri Chandna. Dr. Neerja, married to a surgeon of international repute, Dr. Atul, is settled at New Delhi and has retired from Central Government Health Services, CGHS, after taking VRS, voluntary retirement from service. She is pursuing her passion as an artist and has become an artist of international repute. Engineer Gauri, married to an engineer Neeraj, is settled in United States of America, and both have made a mark in their respective spheres in IT profession. Thus, Dr. Chandna's family is a family of academicians and professionals. Professor R.C. Chandna is widely known for his pioneering contribution in the field of geography in general and population geography in particular. Born in 1940, Professor R.C. Chandna's checkered childhood witnessed massive uprooting of population and trying conditions of turmoil at the time of partition of the country in 1947, and the consequent extensive, lengthy, time-consuming resettlement process affecting his schooling at his tender age, leaving a horrifying mark on his mind about large-scale migrations. He had barely begun his schooling in an Urdu-focused region, Multan district, now in Pakistan, where circumstances forced his permanent uprooting from his birthplace, and his family settled temporarily in a Hindi-focused region, Meerut district in Uttar Pradesh, where he barely completed his primary education before shifting once again to a Punjabi-focused region of Hisar district, the then Panjab. After he completed his graduation from Government College Hisar, his real education began at the Department of Geography, Panjab University, Chandigarh, where he took his post-graduation courses in geography, 1961 to 63, and research training, along with researching to become a geographer of repute. The geographer, a researcher, a teacher, and the author in him was fine-tuned at this department, where he did his doctoral research under Professor G.S. Gosel's supervision and taught postgraduate classes simultaneously since 1963 and contributed extensively to the growth and pan-India promotion of population geography in the country through his books and research papers. By the time Professor Chandna superannuated in December 2002, the Department of Geography at Panjab University had already attained the status of Center of Advanced Study, with population geography as one of the thrust areas of research. As a teacher, Professor Chandna has been a highly dedicated teacher who has always strived for the cause of students. He taught MA and MPhil classes and guided the research work of MPhil and PhD research scholars. For me, ever since I joined the Department of Geography at Panjab University, Chandigarh, about 40 years ago, Professor Chandna served as a source of inspiration and a guide to show me the way. He had been my teacher for my postgraduate course and supervisor for my MPhil and PhD research. I remember most vividly the good old days when I used to sit in his class as a student. The most impressive thing about him, which I noticed as a student, was that his teaching compelled attention and a mental exercise on the part of the student, which never remained unrewarded by a clarity of understanding and a feeling of enrichment. There was also the awakening of the spirit of inquisitiveness, a desire to learn further about the subject. The matter did not end with what was said in the class. On the other hand, it was a beginning, and the students were inspired to explore further, to increase their knowledge and deepen their understanding. His explanations would cast a spell and lead the listener on to further study. In fact, such teaching is not teaching, but compelling students to learn. Later on, I realized that this style of his teaching was to prepare his students, prepare us for research. How meaningful his lectures were, this I realize even today. On various occasions, I was evaluated by him most critically. It used to be my endeavor to come up to his expectations. His love, affection, help, and guidance, however, was for sure and unconditional for me. Professor Chandna supervised 5 PhD theses. They were all on different themes. I worked on spatial patterns of population change in India for the decade 1971 to 1981. I remember by the time I completed my work, 1991 census was also available. And then he asked me to work and give one chapter for that scene also. So I included demographic scenario in 1999, in 1991 as the last chapter of my thesis. And the other theses which he supervised included changes in occupational structure of India's male population, which was conducted by Dr. Sushil. She is these days in Malaysia. Determinants of fertility of urban population was entirely based on primary data, which was collected by Dr. Dhaneshwari for the Kullu town. And spatial patterns of literacy differentials in India, this thesis was completed by Dr. Prem Sagar under Professor Chandna's supervision. And Dr. R.P.S. Gosal was fortunate enough to have Professor Chandna's guidance for his research topic on India's scheduled caste population as spatial perspective. Professor Chandna guided 34 MPhil dissertations. And these dissertations were on multifaceted issues of population geography. Some of these included linguistic patterns, migration, demographic characteristics, occupational structure, rural morphology. I worked on fertility patterns of married women in Panjab University campus, and that was a very rigorous exercise which was given to me. And I was to survey as many as 1,000 married women of the campus. And the learning which I got during this stage is still helping me in my career. Professor Chandna has completed 5 foreign assignments. He visited various parts of the world. He was visiting professor at Bemidji State University, Minnesota, United States of America, where he stayed for about 4 months, March to May 1993. And there he gave a course each on regional geography of South Asia, world regional geography, and population geography. During this period, he also got an opportunity to participate in annual congress of the Association of American Geographers, that is AAG, at Atlanta, and that held during April 6 to 10 in the year 1993. There he made a presentation also and participated in most prestigious congress of the American Association of American Geographers. Then Professor Chandna also conducted an Indo-US project, which was on geographical perspectives of development in India for college and university teachers from the United States of America during the summer of 1982. I remember I was a student at that time in the department, and there was a lot of hustle bustle, but actually I did not realize what actually going on in the department. Later, somewhere in 1990s, 97 or something like that, I went to United States of America and UNC, University of North Carolina. There in the Department of Geography, I met Professor Melinda Mead. And from her, I came to know, like, she had come to Geography Department, Panjab University, Chandigarh, for an workshop and some kind of project which was exclusively for the college and university teachers, and which was conducted by Professor R.C. Chandna. Then she took me to her room and she showed me the books she owned, she got from India, including A Geography of Population by Professor Chandna, and also our prestigious journal, Population Geography, many issues she had possessed. Unfortunately, now she is no more, but I have had a very good connection with her over a long period of time. Then Professor Chandna also chaired a technical session and presented a paper at a symposium which was sponsored by Population Commission of International Geographical Union, which were held at Warsaw, Poland in the year 1991. I remember when he came back from Poland, he shared his experiences and how he had language barrier there because nobody was conversant in English or Hindi or other languages which Sir knew. So quite many experiences we could hear from him. Then in the year 1975, Professor Chandna had presented a paper at Regional Geographical Congress at Singapore. That was in May 26 to 30th. Besides these foreign assignments, Professor Chandna also completed 3 national projects. One was when he prepared an atlas of scheduled caste population of India. And the second one was on the spatial dimensions of scheduled castes in India. This was one of the 3 projects which were allotted to our department, which were awarded to our department rather. One was on migration, which was with Professor Mehta, and one was on employment, underemployment, which was with Professor Gopal, and Professor Chandna worked on the spatial dimensions of scheduled castes in India. The third project which Sir completed was the Gazetteer of the Union Territory of Chandigarh. Sorry, I could not collect the data for the year when it was completed. And then I come to the books which Professor Chandna has published. He has written 23 books, and I have prepared an annexure showing all of them. He has distinguished himself as the most prolific author cum editor of books on geography. He is a model author of standard textbooks on geography. He has brought our department on world map through his books. He has always tried to convey through his lectures, books, and writings the importance of being clear, lucid, and well organized in whatever we write. His seemingly effortless style of writing is, in fact, most difficult to acquire. He has no tolerance for anything that is not clear, systematic, and organized. Lucidity is his watchword. I wonder how he has been managing his time schedule. Besides devoting ample time to the department affairs and teaching, he has been dedicating hours together to the writing, revising, and editing of his books. His books are complete in the subject matter for courses on population geography at the postgraduate level. With his high-quality work, population geography got stimulus in universities all over India. The Department of Geography at Panjab University, Chandigarh, was the first to introduce the study of population geography as a sub-discipline of geography comprising conceptual, topical, and spatial aspects. Besides being an eminent author of valuable textbooks intended for students of various university courses at different levels, his works have also highlighted a wide range of significant issues for the community of academicians, planners, and administrators. From the point of view of serious readers, points to remember at the end of each chapter found in some of his books is a very valuable feature. The points are very carefully organized and are easy to remember. Professor Chandna has edited 3 books. The Earth was authored by Professor Dhyan Kaur in 2000, and Our Atmosphere was authored by me, and Immortal Cities, Concept, Changing Morphology, and Sustainability was co-edited with Professor K.D. Sharma and K. Surjit Singh, Institute for Spatial Planning and Environment Research, Panchkula, 2013. The writings of Professor R.C. Chandna elicited valuable feedbacks from distinguished users from time to time, which enabled the author to incorporate useful material in subsequent editions and to enrich his publications further. His several editions of population geography, regional planning, environmental geography, both in English and Hindi, were instrumental in facilitating accessibility of useful knowledge not only to students but also common masses. I'm very happy to share that Professor R.C. Chandna's books are available on online platform also. For reviewing customers' reviews of Professor Chandna's books, especially Geography of Population, Concepts, Determinants, and Patterns, Amazon Prime can be visited. As already mentioned, Geography of Population Part 1 and 2 are the two latest issues in the year 2022. After having talked about these books, let me see the book reviews of Professor R.C. Chandna's books on population geography. Here I would like to mention 5 reviews which have been published in different publications, by different sources, and they have been reviewed by different scholars. His books on population geography have been reviewed by Gary Fuller from the University of Hawaii, United States of America. Then it has also been reviewed by John I. Clark, and that was published in his book, Geography and Population Approaches and Applications. Then Professor Dulek also published the review of his books in Professional Geographer in the year 1981. Professor Kosinski also wrote about his books and which got published in the Canadian Geographer. These are the selected reviews. I have taken some words from there. First of all, I'll talk about Gary Fuller. Gary Fuller says all 3 of these works, he's referring to Curriculum Guide for Population Geography by Gary Fuller, Introduction to Population Geography by R.C. Chandna et al., and A Geography of Population by R.C. Chandna, have a common goal to articulate population geography, largely a Euro-American innovation to the needs of the third world. Chandna's first 2 chapters on conceptual framework and data sources are especially valuable. His argument for the role of population geography within the discipline and the relationships of the subfield to other disciplines is interesting and well articulated. Chandna has nevertheless confronted a difficult issue and has handled it with aplomb. On balance, this book is a noteworthy contribution to the discipline, one in which Indian geographers in particular can take great pride. Indian geographers in particular can take great pride. Then review of Introduction of Population Geography, 1980, by Kosinski of University of Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, published in Canadian Studies in Population in the year 1984. He writes, most internationally used textbooks tend to be written by Western authors and published by Western presses. This book represents a different breed. Written by an Indian author and published in India, it is a first attempt undertaken in this populous country to produce a text suitable for students taking a course in population geography. The author defines population geography as a discipline which is concerned with 4 dimensions. One is the temporal, spatial expressions of various population attributes. Second, their explanations. Third, the processes involved in the creation of those temporal spatial expressions. And fourth is the book introduces basic issues, general concepts, and some techniques of population study. The third review is of the book Introduction to Population Geography, Kalyani Publishers, 1980. The review was by Richard Dulek of University of Kentucky, United States of America, and it was published in Professional Geographer, Volume 33, Number 3, 1981. He writes, all in all, it is generally a competent text that seems to fulfill its first purpose at least, and it does offer to the Indian students a readily available text in the field. The book does differ from the other standard texts in the sense it draws a number of examples in population geography from India. In this regard, the text is useful to the students to whom it is principally directed. For these reasons, the book should prove useful. The fourth review is by Dr. Amrit Lal, University of Windsor, Canada, and that was published in Canadian Geographer, volume 32 in the year 1988. He writes, two features are distinctive: the focus on less developed countries in general and India in particular, and the chapter on literacy, a topic usually neglected in textbooks published in developed countries, will be a useful reference book for population geographers concerned with India and the third world, even though designed primarily as a textbook for India. Altogether, a geography of population is a welcome addition to the growing subdiscipline and should be well received by Canada's population geographers. The fifth one is by John I. Clark, professor at University of Durham, United Kingdom, and the then chairman of the International Geographical Union Commission on Population. In his book, Geography and Population Approaches and Applications, parts 1 and 2, he briefly reviews Chandna's book, Introduction to Population Geography, in the context of development of population geography in the world, in the following words. He writes, an indication of the current diversity in approaches to population geography is revealed by contents of 4 recently published books. Chandna devotes extensive coverage to spatial distribution of population, ethnic, demographic, and socioeconomic diversity of populations, spatial mobility, and the relationships between population and resources, but give relatively little attention to fertility, mortality, and population growth on the other. Woods and Jones have suggested that texts like those of Noin and Chandna exemplify a traditional pattern orientation in population geography, while others reflect a new process orientation more in line with current trends in geography as a whole. The two pairs of texts have a useful complementarity. Professor R.C. Chandna has got to his credit 56 research papers which have been published in the numerous national and international journals as listed in the annexure which is there with Professor Devendra for the write-up which is already given to him. Professor Chandna has covered a large variety of subjects in his research, whereby he is widely known as a multifaceted scholar. Besides geography, he has devoted his research to vital human concerns, namely planning, environment, society, and its traditions. Now I come to the selected keynote addresses which have been given by Professor R.C. Chandna. Professor Chandna presided over many academic functions and delivered many inaugural addresses, keynote addresses, and valedictory addresses on various occasions at various platforms. Some of the keynote addresses I'll be showing here. The first one is about the city regions, perceptions, policies, and practices, a paradigm shift, which was the keynote address at the 6th National Seminar of Institute for Spatial Planning and Environment Research, India, Panchkula, in the year 2012. Then he spoke on sustainable management of land resources in India. That was in the National Seminar, which was of the Postgraduate Government College, Karnal, in the year 2012. Then Professor Chandna also spoke about mountain environment and natural resources management at the 12th Association of Panjab Geographers Conference, which was held at HPU Shimla in the year 2011 in the month of October. Then Professor Chandna gave his keynote address at the first geographical conference that was held at Government Postgraduate College, Karnal, Haryana, in the year 1999, where he spoke on environmental awareness and management and status of geography in present perspective. When I look at his works and when I see his work on population geography, I can conclude this in the context of the perspective. He was fortunate to give population geography courses to postgraduate students right from the inception of this subdiscipline in the country at Panjab University, Chandigarh, in a regime of a paucity of textbooks authored by Indian geographers. His liberal interaction with eminent geographers from diverse cultures, including David Dickerson, M.J. Rice, Kosinski, Clark, Melinda Mead, and others, fine-tuned the author in him. In this endeavor, he succeeded in publishing all these books and research papers. In the very first edition of his book on geography of population, he focused on three main concerns of the population. Number one, spatio-temporal expressions of various attributes of a population, their explanations or determinants, and third is the processes involved in the emergence of such patterns. His perspective, as reflected in his writings and classroom discussions, is in line with Hettner's and Zelinsky's observations that reel round a three-dimensional spatial reality that needs to be examined from different points of view for a comprehensive understanding of the whole. Influence of Hettner is clearly reflected in his vast written material of books and research papers. Of course, Professor Chandna's books and research papers have set a high standard with respect to explanations with clarity that reveals the range of geographical erudition and pragmatic reasoning. Professor Chandna seems to have far-reaching persuasive influence in geographical scholarship, specifically in population geography all over the country. His methodology and approach could be simply summed up in four words: concepts, determinants, spatial patterns, and consequences. Simplicity in his writings is student-centric. Issues in his books are discussed step by step in a style that is easy for students to understand. Like Woolridge and East, The Spirit and Purpose of Geography, published from London in 1967, Chandna also believed that geography begins only when geographers begin writing. Geography begins only when geographers begin writing. Now I come to the role of Professor Chandna in establishing Association of Population Geographers of India, popularly known as APGI. Way back in 1978, during the regime of paucity of research journals in the country, an idea of bringing out a journal devoted exclusively to the subfield of population geography germinated and took shape with the registration of Association of Population Geographers of India, with Professor Chandna, one of the founders, as the founder secretary of Association of Population Geographers of India in the year 1978, which he nurtured for 25 long years and debated at the time of his superannuation, when APGI was bringing out the Silver Jubilee issue of its internationally famed journal, Population Geography, in 2003, of which he was a joint editor as well. He was instrumental in starting the journal Population Geography, the first ever geography journal devoted to the subfield of population geography in the world, and was its founder associate editor from 1978 to 83 and joint editor from 1983 to 2003. Professor Chandna has also been associated with various national and international societies. He has enjoyed many prestigious positions and has been associated with many societies. His association with some of these is listed here. He was the Vice President of Governing Council IIT Pune in the period 1998 to 2001. He was corresponding member of Population Commission of International Geographical Union in the period 1984 to 88. He was elected member International Union for the Scientific Study of Population Belgium in the year 1986. He was Vice President, Association of Population Geographers of India, 2003 to 2022. Then he was Member Advisory Committee, ICSSR, Northwestern Regional Center, Chandigarh, 1995 to 97. He was elected Member Executive Council of the National Association of Geographers, that is NAGI, from 1981 to 84. Then he was the elected member of the Executive Committee INCA for the period 1997 to 2000. Professor Chandna, as a visionary, had planned his research activities in a perspective manner, whereby today he has got several books and numerous articles in diverse fields to his credit. He has virtually emerged a storehouse of knowledge and wisdom, thereby a vital asset to the society, fraternity of scholars of geography, and above all to the younger generation, students of geography, planning and environment studies. His writing is invariably lucid, thought-provoking, and arousing curiosity. That is why his research works are source documents for leading on to further avenues of research in our discipline. In recognition of his multifaceted contribution, the Association of Panjab Geographers in 2006 bestowed on Professor R.C. Chandna an award of honor for his excellent academic credentials and outstanding services to the cause, promotion, and development of geography. Acknowledging Professor Chandna's rich contribution to the field of academics, he has recently been honored with Distinguished Alumnus Award by the Department of Alumni Relations, Panjab University, Chandigarh. The foregoing accomplishments of Professor R.C. Chandna as a profound researcher, a dedicated educationist, teacher, a visionary guide, a prolific author of books, and an outstanding professor of geography carry a clear message to the fraternity of geographers and co-professionals to learn from the teachings of this living legend as far as possible for the cause of profession and humanity. This feedback as a valuable treasure will go a long way to inspire the younger generations of students and teachers. During my tenure as chairperson of the department, it was my privilege, while seeking the guidance of Professor R.C. Chandna, to notice some of other aspects of his personality which compel admiration and are worthy of emulation. He is technically sound, patient, and sweet-tempered with his subordinates and most considerate about their well-being. The legitimate interests of his colleagues and subordinates are dear to his heart. He would work to advance their interests even without the beneficiaries being ever aware of it. Above all, in spite of the name and fame, he is a wonderful person, untouched by any kind of arrogance, which often accompanies such accomplishments. He completed more than 40 years, most successfully, most fruitfully in the department from where first he studied and later on he served the same department with great zeal and wisdom. We look forward to his continued interest in the growth of teaching and research in geography. We should be seeking his valuable guidance in the years to come. Now, here are excerpts of about 3 minutes of one of his most recent lectures, which he delivered in the International Workshop on Health Care for Older People, learning from Indo-Canadian experiences. We can hear this in his voice.
Let me wrap up with a brief comparative narrative of India and Canada. in the context of their healthcare system. Canada, we have 65 plus 8 to 17%, 62 million. India, we have 82 million. This is likely to rise to 280 million. The saving grace is that in India, 66% of population lives in the countryside, which is more healthy and fun. And in Canada, only 19% of the population lives in rural areas. The health literacy in case of Canada is 50%, and in case of India, it's only 10%. Health insurance cover is by choice in both the countries. Health infrastructure is well established in Canada, but in case of India, it is still in the process of emerging, particularly the government dispensaries and hospitals. We have 10,189 people per physician in India, whereas the WHO requirement is 1,000 persons per physician. The healthcare services almost free in case of Canada. In case of India, the government either provides a free or highly subsidized rate. Use of AI, artificial intelligence, not only for diagnostic purposes, but also for home care purposes for the elderly people in Canada. But in India it is only used for diagnostic purposes. The home healthcare providers in case of Canada are in sizable number, but in India, for a vast majority, it is a distant dream. Our tries to raise issues, highlight challenges, with the hope that there will be these will help us in planning our strategies and meet our expectations of the elderly people. And with these observations, I once again thank the organizers of the workshop for having given me this opportunity to share my observations with you.
Here is a glimpse of Professor Chandna's latest contribution to the department library in October 2020, the COVID year. And very beautifully, he has expressed his feelings for his second home, that is the Department of Geography at Panjab University, Chandigarh. He has been extremely humble and generous in acknowledging the Department of Geography as a place of learning and growing for him. He says, for me, the department has always remained a place of learning and growing through continuous interaction with my teachers, my colleagues, and successive batches of students. It is indeed heartening to admit that the department which I considered as my second home still continues to be the same for me. It is so welcoming that one feels like visiting it more often than what may be feasible at an advanced age such as mine. The respect and affection that I have always received from students and faculty, both past and present, as also from geography fraternity all over the country, often leaves my eyes moist. In the end, I wish that the department continues to be as productive and as cohesive as it has been. I'm sure Professor Chandna will continue to feel associated with geography and the works of geography, as further progress of the discipline of geography will give him further satisfaction and happiness. Besides Sir's academic career and contribution, Professor R.C. Chandna has been a great source of inspiration and motivation to the generations of teachers and students to come. Before I come to the last section of my presentation, I would like to share the sentiments of some of his students. Professor Shashikanta Sharma, who was her student in the year 1966-68 for her master's in geography and 76 to 77 for the MPhil in geography, retired as Principal Government College for Girls, Sector 42, Chandigarh, writes, I am perhaps one of the oldest students of Dr. Chandna and feel so proud of being taught by such an eminent geographer. Besides being an excellent teacher, he is always approachable to his students for any kind of guidance and help. That is why he is so popular amongst his students. I have great respect and regards for Chandna sir. The other one to our left is by Professor Rama Kaushal, who retired as Associate Professor from Government College for Girls, Sector 42, and presently visiting faculty in AICC Mohali. She writes, I am trying to commemorate his legacy as a distinguished teacher, a scholar, and one of the best book writers in the field of population geography, acknowledged globally. His scholarly pursuits have also helped his students immensely in their research work. Dr. Chandna has produced thought-provoking books, research papers to enrich further the field of population geography. I personally see him as a mentor who deeply influenced my understanding and liking of the subject. I can go on and on because his personality cannot be explained in a few words. So in the end, I will say that he has really helped me in growing as a teacher and as a disciplined person. Thank you for everything, sir, you have done for us. This slide tells us about the sentiments of two scholars. One is Rajan Bhandari, who is currently the head of the Department of Geography at DAV College, Chandigarh. He writes, teachers' blessings remain always with us. He says, once I was going for an interview and I met Chandna sir in the corridor. Sir asked me where I was going and I told him that I'm going for an interview in DAV College. He smiled and moved on. When I entered the interview room, I was surprised to see Professor Chandna on the interview board. Unfortunately, I was not selected by the board. Sir anyhow wished me the best of luck for the future. Then Dr. Bhandari adds, Sir is always there to motivate and guide all the students. Recently, when I joined as the head of the Department of Geography at DAV College, Chandigarh, I felt blessed, profusely blessed, and I was overwhelmed to receive his blessings on this special occasion for me. Thank you, sir, for being a great source of motivation and inspiration. Towards our left, we have the sentiments expressed by Dr. Anurag Sharma, who retired as Professor and Chairperson, Department of Geography, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Anurag was a student of Professor Chandna in the batch 1979 to 81 for his Masters in Geography, and in 1981 he did his MPhil. Anurag says, my sir, Chandna sir, it seems like yesterday when I was attending my first class of population geography in the Department of Geography at Panjab University with Professor R.C. Chandna sir as my teacher. With the publication of his book entitled Population Geography, Chandna sir and population geography became analog. Teachers proudly recommend this book to their students. Time flew away. Though I have superannuated as professor from HPU Shimla, yet I remember my sir, his nature, his teachings, and his personality vividly. Sir is a dedicated, sincere, hardworking, inspiring teacher. He has elevated the minds of his students and gave energy to their character. His classroom was always full. He always took regular attendance before delivering his lecture. He delivered his lecture in such a pace that students were able to understand and note down what he said. I thoroughly enjoyed his classes. Chandna sir always responded with a smiling, cool face to his students. Namaste, sir. By blessing them, he would say, God bless you. With humility, I say that he is the only teacher to whom I used to say at 5 o'clock in the evening, bye, sir, to which he always delightedly responded. Chandna sir is always well turned out. He is personable, and his black framed specs add sublimity to his personality. He is a teacher who will always stay in my mind. He is a wonderful teacher and a wonderful person. The Department of Geography at Panjab University needs more teachers like him. Love you, sir. Now this last is from Pooja Raman. She is currently with Uttar Pradesh government and holding very important positions. One is the Senior Finance and Accounts Officer. She is with Basic Shiksha Parishad. That is the main posting. Then additional charge is as Manager Finance and Accounts, Fisheries Nigam. And then she also is the Finance Officer, Madhyamik Shiksha Directorate, Prayagraj. That is also the additional charge. Pooja Raman writes, though Pooja was running, I was panting. That was exactly how my professor, respected R.C. Chandna sir, addressed the class when he entered the lecture room and caught me running behind classmates with a scale in my hand. Sir's address broke the class into a huge laughter. Needless to say, we had a great lecture afterwards. I proudly say that I am a blessed person to have received my education from the best possible teachers at Panjab University, and one of the most knowledgeable persons amongst them was Chandna sir. The day I met sir, I felt that it may be a difficult task to connect to such a senior professor, but sir's way of connecting with his students was unique. And with me, I feel I was on a different level altogether. Sir taught us not only from his mind, but from his heart. When I was preparing for my civil services exam, I received many tips and pointers on how to prepare for some particular topics. Also, for my entrance exam for MPhil at JNU, sir was the first person to write a recommendation letter for me. I still have that copy of the same with me, like I still have sir's copy on population geography book, sir's book on population geography. Later, I continued to do my MPhil in population geography from JNU. His motivation, his blessings have a huge part in making me what I am today. Sir did not only teach, he inspired. Now the last section is about the message which is given by Professor Chandna to all of us. And here I would like to include a part of that message which was aired by All India Radio Chandigarh and given to the general public to contribute to the society by way of getting associated with some organization and to make it worthwhile. Let us hear Professor
शाम सुहानी में आप सभी का एक बार फिर स्वागत है। आज हमारे हम रहा है वरिष्ठ नागरिक और पंजाब विश्वविद्यालय चंडीगढ़ के भूगोल विभाग के अध्यक्ष पद से सेवानिवृत्त हुए प्रोफेसर R.C. चांदना। आपने तो अपनी जिंदगी की शाम को सुहानी शाम बनाया हुआ है। अपने हम उम्र साथियों को क्या संदेश देंगे कि वो भी अपनी जिंदगी को शाम सुहानी नाम से कह सके?
ऐसा है कि मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि जिस भी प्रोफेशन में आप हैं, उस प्रोफेशन में आपने जो कुछ सीखा है वो देश को दीजिए, वो समाज को दीजिए। तो सबके लिए मेरा संदेश ये होगा कि देश हमें देता है सब कुछ, हम भी कुछ देना सीखें और हम देश को समाज के माध्यम से ही दे सकते हैं। जितनी हमारी क्षमता है उसके हिसाब से हम आज समाज सेवा जरूर करें। किसी न किसी संस्था के साथ जुड़िए और उसमें अंदर जाकर खूब मन लगाकर किसी उसके कोई ऐसा मत सोचिए कि आपको कुछ उसमें से मिलना है। तो उस भाव से, निष्काम भाव से सेवा कीजिए, वो आपको जो आनंद आएगा वो मैं महसूस कर पा रहा हूँ अपने आप में,
और आपको देखकर मैं महसूस कर पा रही हूँ।
धन्यवाद।
प्रोफेसर चांदना, आकाशवाणी चंडीगढ़ स्टूडियो में शाम सुहानी कार्यक्रम में आपने शिरकत की, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
मैं आभारी हूँ आपका, आपने मुझे ये मौका दिया कि मैं यहाँ आऊँ और आपके साथ अपना थोड़े विचार आपके समक्ष रखूँ, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा।
So in the end, I would like to say, sir, you are most adorable and lovable. You have woven fantasies for us and you have made them happen. We pray for your long and healthy life. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Uh,
Smita Bhutani ji, for bringing vivid memories of Professor R.C. Chandna, a living legend, founder of Association of Population Geographers of India, and also bringing his academic contribution spread over last 5 decades. It's really remarkable. Sir, hats off to you. The presence of faculty members from Department of Geography, Panjab University reflects the love, affection, and the cohesiveness that he left behind in the department. In the end, मुझे लगता है आज की शाम प्रोफेसर आर.सी. चांदना जी की मेमोरी में उनके कंट्रीब्यूशन के लिए वाकई एक सुहानी शाम बनाई है। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा ये सुन के। देश ने हमको बहुत कुछ दिया है, सब कुछ दिया है, हमें भी कुछ देना चाहिए और उन्होंने उसका रास्ता भी बताया। रियली सर, हेड्स ऑफ टू यू। नाउ I think organizers for this particular lecture series, I think we are joined by the faculty members of the department. I could see Professor Karanjot Barar. I can also see Professor Gaurav has already spoken. If someone else from the department, if they want to speak, they want to throw some light, I think we should give them some time. Maybe
Professor Krishna Mohan is there. Professor Krishna Mohan is there.
And okay, and Professor Krishna Mohan also. So should we start with Professor Krishna Mohan? Professor Krishna Mohan ji.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you, बिलाप जी। जैसा आपने भी कहा और आकाशवाणी की संयोजक ने भी बताया कि प्रोफेसर चांदना के मैसेज से जो हमें सबक मिलता है वो हम सभी को अपने जीवन में उतारना चाहिए, अपनाना चाहिए। प्रोफेसर चांदना उनमें से ही हैं जिन्होंने केवल ज्योग्राफी के लोगों को नहीं, सच तो ये है कि भी उनकी किताबों से, उनके व्याख्यानों से देश के बहुत से आज आईएएस ऑफिसर्स ब्लेस्ड हैं। और प्रोफेसर चांदना besides a good teacher is a very humble and an excellent human being. अभी कुछ समय पहले मुझे उनसे मिलने का मौका मिला और हम लोग ये चाहते थे कि वो एसोसिएशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन ज्योग्राफर्स को एज ए प्रेसिडेंट लीड करें। उन्होंने बड़ी नम्रता पूर्वक हमारी बातें सुनी, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा कि देखिए अब इस समय मैं ये चाहूँगा कि भी मेरे स्वास्थ्य की वजह से अब मुझे ये जिम्मेदारी नहीं लेनी चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए। मुझे ऐसा लगा कि भी आमतौर पे लोग बाग बड़े बड़े पदों की तरफ आकर्षित होते हैं। प्रोफेसर चांदना ने बड़ी उदारता पूर्वक, सहजता पूर्वक ये कहा कि भी ये जिम्मेदारी अब नए लोगों को उठानी चाहिए। बड़ा अच्छा लगा। प्रोफेसर चांदना ने हम लोगों को बहुत कुछ सिखाया। एक शिक्षक को कैसा होना चाहिए, विभाग को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए कैसे काम करना चाहिए, विभाग में अपनी उपस्थिति के माध्यम से, अपने व्यवहार से कैसे विद्यार्थियों को शिक्षा देनी चाहिए, और विश्वविद्यालय के बहुत बड़ी लोगों के बीच में जो उन्होंने जिम्मेदारियां निभाई हैं वो एक शिक्षक से भी बड़ी है, और एक विशेष तरह की लीडरशिप जो उन्होंने डिपार्टमेंट को दी, उसी का प्रतिफल है कि आज हमारा डिपार्टमेंट उन चंद डिपार्टमेंट में से है जिसके लिए हम सभी को गर्व होता है। तो प्रोफेसर चांदना से आज भी हम बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं। जब भी आते हैं वही विनम्रता, वही सादगी, और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि मुझे चांदना साहब जैसा 1987 में दिखते थे मुझे आज भी वैसे ही दिखते हैं, कोई परिवर्तन नहीं हुआ है, ना उनके व्यवहार में, ना उनके उनकी जो शिक्षा देने के तरीका है इसमें वही बिल्कुल वही शालीनता, उसी तरीके से चलना, उसी तरीके से बातचीत करना, और जब भी मौका मिले कुछ न कुछ सिखाते रहते हैं। इन शब्दों के साथ आज प्रोफेसर स्मिता भूटानी जी ने, जो मेरी शिक्षक भी रही हैं, उनको मैं सादर धन्यवाद देता हूं, और प्रोफेसर चांदना की लंबी उम्र और स्वास्थ्य वर्धन की प्रार्थना करता हूं। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू प्रोफेसर कृष्ण मोहन जी। जब प्रोफेसर समिता जी एक संक्षिप्त परिचय दे रही थी प्रोफेसर चांदना जी का, तो मुझे याद आया कैसे एक
There is technical problem, I think so.
जो अरेस्टवाइल पंजाब था, जिसमें चांदना जी की जर्नी मुल्तान से लेके हिसार, यानी पूरा एक जैसे एक समय उसमें सिमट सा गया है। समिता जी ने जिस तरीके से, और फिर उसको पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी जो अपने आप में एक हिस्टोरिकल यूनिवर्सिटी है, जिसका अपना एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है, आज़ादी से पहले भी, आज़ादी के बाद भी, पूरे नॉर्थ इंडिया में एक पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी का अपना एक अलग तरीके का, यानी इलाहाबाद विश्वविद्यालय, लाहौर विश्वविद्यालय और पंजाब विश्वविद्यालय उत्तर भारत के लिए एक विशिष्ट स्थान रखते थे। तो जो परिचय है जिस तरीके से समिता जी ने दिया मुझे उस समय का, और जिसे प्रोविंशियल पंजाब कहा जाता था, हिमाचल, पंजाब और हरियाणा, मतलब वृहद पंजाब जिसे हम कहते हैं, तो उस दृष्टि से और वो कंट्रीब्यूशन लेके वो पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में आए और उन्होंने अपना अकादमिक दृष्टि से जो कार्य किया और एक लंबे 5 दशकों तक अपनी सेवाएं दी। रियली सर, इट्स रिमार्केबल। Now, if somebody else from the department if would like to speak.
Zahir Ahmed ji has raised a hand, sir.
Professor Karanjot, I saw her message in the beginning.
Zahir Ahmed.
Okay, so now I will go with the convener, Dr. Suman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, with your permission, I want to introduce our chief guest and special guest and guest of honor today. Sir.
Please. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. In the beginning, I would like to introduce our president of the session, Professor Milap Punia Sirji. Professor Milap Punia sir is professor and chairman of Center for the Study of Regional Development CSRD SCDR from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He is specialized in remote sensing and geographical information system. He worked as a scientist in Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO), and adjunct faculty to Center for Science, Space Science and Technology Education in Asia and the Pacific, Dehradun, India. He was awarded C.V. Raman Fellowship to carry out postdoctoral research work on urban studies from School of Forest and Environmental Studies, Yale University, USA. His areas of research include urban studies, spatial data analysis for urban planning and regional development, sustainability studies, land use change, disaster management, spatial aspect of governance, and to bridge research gap between social science and geospatial discipline. He completed many international research projects, and also he has written so many books. He has also completed many research papers. I'm very much thankful for Punia sir to be here. Uh, I regret, sir, if I am made any. I did not mention anything because we have paucity of time. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, Dr. Sumant, I'm no more chairperson. I'm now former chairperson.
Oh, yes, yes.
My colleague,
right,
Dr. Shrikesh, is now heading department from 1st of August.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. I take the opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Professor Arvind Mulmani, sir. Professor Arvind Mulimani, sir, is a professor and chairman of Department of Geography, Karnataka University, Dharwad, for last 33 years. Professor Mulimani is holding the responsibility of department as a chairman for fourth time in University of Dharwad, co-chairman Geography Research Committee, Indian Social Science Congress, chairman of Board of Studies in UG and PG of Geography, chairman of Board of Examination in KU Dharwad. Presently, he is professor in member of NAC as permanent assessor of higher education institutions in India up to the age of 70 years. Professor is also member of International Accreditation Organization IAO and recognized as academic auditor in the international level. Besides this, professor is nominated by Government of Karnataka as a member state level syllabus committee in geography under National Education Policy 2022 and also Forest Academy, Government of Karnataka, and providing training to national level forest officer. This is with this brief introduction. I again welcome Dr. Arvind Mulimani, sir, to
No,
this
sir, there is some
important.
problem. Speech is not audible.
All right, sir. Am I audible, Milap, sir?
Sir,
I think at
speech
my
is not audible.
I think at my end there is no problem.
No, it
All
is
right.
audible.
So
It
maybe
is audible. Audible.
maybe
All
maybe
right.
at his end there is some. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I take this opportunity to introduce Professor Dr. Atta Ur Rahman, sir. He's a chairman and professor, Department of Geography and Geomatics, University of Peshawar, Pakistan. He's the secretary of National Curriculum Review Committee on Disaster Management, Pakistan, and is a visiting faculty at Center of Disaster Preparedness and Mitigation, University of Peshawar in Pakistan. Some of his important achievement is he has four publication on his credit by international publishers like Springer elsewhere, 23 chapters in online published books, 180 papers. Sir has successfully guided and supervised 35 MPhil and master's students and 10 PhD awardees. Total impact factor to his credit is 70. Sir has reviewed 16 research papers of journals and is on editorial board of 5 journals. Sir has examined 25 uh, MS and PhD thesis at international level and completed 10 research projects. Thus, with 23 years of teaching and research experience, he attended 30 national, 21 international conferences and seminars and exhibitions while organizing 23 conferences and workshops at various levels and 13 research working group and professional organization. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Dr. Attar sir also. May I take this opportunity to introduce our next special guest, Mandal sir, Umesh Kumar Mandal sir. Professor Umesh Kumar Mandal has the heading the Central Department of Geography at Tribhuvan University, Executive Director at Research Director, Rector Office, and many other responsibilities. Professor Mandal is Executive Editor of Journal of the Geographical Journal of Nepal, Executive Director of Journal Research Directorate. He has guided and supervised MTech thesis also. Sir's publications are numerous in forms of reference books and textbooks, as chapters in national and international books, as research papers in international journals of covering topics of environmental importance from conservation, management to mitigation, as well as on agriculture, hydrology, watershed, humanities, to include women and marginalized communities also. Sir has taken 18 projects, of which 8 are completed, that include government projects and many other research projects. Sir has life membership of many international organization. So thank you, Professor Umesh Kumar sir, Mandal sir, for being with us. Uh, I am happy to introduce Dr. Smita Bhutani, madam, to whom we have heard her lecture a few minutes back. Dr. Smita, madam, had many publications on her credit. More than 11 books and books chapters she have written. She have also headed many research projects at international and national level. She is also written the 50 publications. She is teaching for postgraduate and students and PhD students for many years. She is the former coordinator of SAP UGC Geography Department, Panjab University, Chandigarh. She is former coordinator of CAS UGC Geography Department, Punjab University, Chandigarh. She was a former coordinator of UNI GIS program, Geography Department, Punjab University, Chandigarh, in collaboration with Salzburg University, Austria. And she is also former coordinator of distance learning program on basic of remote sensing and GIS and GPS using EduSat National Beam Network. She is a professional affiliation with Association of Population Geographers of India, Indian National Geographical Association, National Association of Geographers of India, and Association of Punjab Geographers, etc. So, with this brief introduction of Smita Bhutani, madam, I again welcome and thank Dr. Smita, madam, for her extremely nice lecture. I take this opportunity to introduce Professor R.N. Mishra, sir. Professor R.N. Mishra, sir, was professor and head Department of Geography, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, from 2010 to 2013. He has held many positions like Chancellor nominee at Rajasthan Sport University, President of Rajasthan Geographical Association, Organizing Secretary of Indian Geographers Meet, Vice President of National Association of Geography India, Treasurer of Indian Human Ecology Council. He has taught UG, PG, and MPhil and PhD students for more than 30 years. He is a life member of National Association of Geographers India, NAGI, CHEC, IIG, IGI, RGA, PGA, and GGA. He have attended more than 100 conferences. He had 26 papers, research publications on his credit. He has written almost more than 7 books on various topics in geography. He is editor and member of editorial board of Annals of Journal of Rajasthan, Journal of Global Resource, Geographic Mosaic, and many more. He has supervised 40 PhD students and evaluated more than 100 PhD theses. He has also undertaken many research projects sponsored by ICSSR, and also he had great association with many universities in and out of India. He has also been worked as a recruitment expert in Rajasthan Public Service Commission, MPSC, BPSC, JPSC, and UPSC, and also Uttarakhand Service Commission. He was rewarded as Rajiv Gandhi State Level Award in 2014. Some of his achievement that he has delivered 30 lectures and keynote speaker at various conventions, and he has delivered A.N. Bhattacharya Memorial Lecture, in 41st Nagi 2019 at Department of Geography in Sagar. Sir, Professor Aryan Mishra, sir, I again welcome and thank you for being with us for today. I take the opportunity to uh, introduce the guest of honor for the day, Dr. V. M.I. Imayavaram Ban, sir, Professor of Geography, Department of Geography, Madurai Kamraj University. He has a huge biodata to brief in few words. He had more than 37, 40, 41 publication to his credit. He's a life member of Deccan Geographical Society, life member of Society for Indian Geographers, Indian Science Congress Association, National Environmental Society, Science Academy, Union of Geographical Information Technologies, Bangalore. He is a member editorial board of International Journal of Geoscience and Technology, New Delhi. He also had a radio talk on various topics like environmental awareness at Tiruchirappalli. He had been awarded with prestigious awards like Appreciation Award on 15 July 2017, Education Development Day by Madurai Kamraj University. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan Lifetime Achievement International Award by IRDP Group Journals, 25th September 2022, Coimbatore, and Best Geography Teachers Award of 2023, which was given to him on 25th February 2023 by Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. Sir, we are very happy to have with us for today. May I take the opportunity to introduce our next guest of honor, Professor Anil Kumar Roy, sir. Uh, Sir, with over 22 years of experience, Professor Anil Kumar Roy is a senior associate professor at CEPT University, Ahmedabad. He holds a PhD in urban geography from JNU, New Delhi, and studied urban and regional planning at CEPT University. Dr. Roy was awarded a Canadian Studies Doctoral Fellowship for his PhD and was affiliated with Dalhousie University, Halifax, Canada in 2002. He had also worked with national and international institutions such as UNESCO Office in New Delhi, PRIA, and CSE New Delhi. Before joining CEPT University in 2009, he has worked in various advisory projects such as preparation of master's development and regional and sub-regional plans, benchmarking of industrial estates, and assessment of climate change impact on drought affected areas and coastal communities for urban local bodies, state national governments. His research papers have been published in national and international journals. Dr. Roy has published two books and he's working on another book on planning education in global south. His research interests include urbanization in the global south, the environment, climate change and urbanization linkages, and urban poverty and informalities. Dr. Roy, sir, we welcome you again and thank you for being with us. May I take the opportunity to introduce Professor Pant, sir. Professor Pant, sir, is a very senior professor who published 9 widely acclaimed books on food and nutrition, glimpses on Central Himalayan edition, geographic, geo-economic environment and nutrition, environmental studies in the Himalayan region, women and nutrition in Himalaya, tribal demography in India, demographic study in Indian Himalayan region, Uttarakhand Janasankhya Paridrishya and uh, Parivandan, geographical study of Tharu tribe, and so many other publications to his credit. He has successfully completed one minor and one major research project funded by University Grants Commission, New Delhi. Besides his keen interest in academics, he is rigorously involved in carrying out positions on prominence, registrar and examination controller of Uttarakhand Open University, Haldwani, coordinator of internal quality assurance cell of the college, Counselor of Central Himalayan Environmental Association, Nainital, member of International Peer Reviewed Committee of Konkan Geographer, Maharashtra, Development of Higher Education Government of Uttarakhand has selected Dr. Pant as a member of Climate Change Cell. He has also been nominated as a member of Executive Council and Board of Studies of Geography of Kumaon University, Nainital, SSJ University, Almora. He has been associated with various academic, administrative, competitive, geographical, environmental, social associations, and other government and non-government organization. Dr. Pant, sir, we welcome you and thank you for being with us. May I take opportunity to introduce Professor Gaurav Kalotra, sir, as guest of honor for today. Sir has a huge biodata with many prestigious awards and also publications. To mention a few, sir has work experience of many years. He has also been affiliated with many prestigious organizations like APGI, APG, INCA, ISRS, NAGI, and IIG. He has field experiences of many organizations, many programs. He has many publications to his credits and also research projects to his credits. With this brief introduction to Kalotra sir, I welcome and thank you for being with us, sir. May I now take the opportunity to introduce Professor Virendra Kumar sir, Head of the Department of Geography and Dean of Science, Magad University, Bodh Gaya. He is also Secretary of Magad Bhugol Parishad and Editor of Magad Geographical Review, Managing Editor of Vatavaran or Hum. With this brief introduction, I welcome Professor Virendra sir in this particular program. And I would also like to introduce Dr. Navneet Kaur ma'am, Associate Professor of Department of Geography, Panjab University, Chandigarh. She has also 30 papers, research papers published in international reputed journals on his credit. She has also being a member of various committees and bodies at national and international level. She is a member of Association of Population Geographers India, Association of Punjab Geographers, uh, National Association of Geographers of India, NAGI, and Department of Alumni Relations, PU University, Chandigarh. So with this brief introduction, I again welcome Dr. Navneet Kaur sir for being with us in this particular program. So with this brief introduction of our chief guest, president, special guest, and guest of honor for the program, may I, with the permission of sir, may I invite speakers to please speak for a few minutes.
Sir, respected convener,
Yeah.
respected president, sir, we have one more very respectable and very senior honorable guest of international repute, Professor VP Sati.
Oh yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I am so sorry. I forgot to. I mean that the page was not here. Professor Vishwambar Prasad Sati, sir, born in 1996, is a DLIT and PhD, a senior professor of geography in and resource management. Is currently working at Mizoram University, Central University, Aizwal, India. With a teaching career of about 3 decades, he has served in several higher education institutions within and outside India. With a teacher career of about 3 decades, he has served in several higher education institutions within and outside India, some of them being Eritrea Institute of Technology, Asmara, Eritrea in Northeast Africa, Institute of Mountain Hazards and Environment, Chengdu, China, Madhya Pradesh Higher Education, and HNB Garhwal University, Srinagar, Garhwal. In the same field, he has deeply been involved in research and he has worked as a visiting professor and visiting scholar in world's various renowned research and academic institutions, including the World Academy of Sciences, Chinese Academy of Sciences, Indian National Science Academy, Indian Council of Social Science Research, Indian Institute of Advanced Studies, and Ministry of Education and Science, Lviv Polytechnical National University, Lviv, Ukraine. Currently, he is a senior global fellow of the Grassroot Institute Canada. Besides, he has traveled widely for about 40 countries and all over India. He has impactful expertise in the field of natural resource management, environmental development interface, climate change, rural livelihoods, disaster-related issues, and culture of the Himalayan region. He has developed several models and action plans for environmental conservation and economic development of fragile Himalayan ecosystem landscape. More than a dozen of national individual projects and projects with international collaborations have been conducted by him, with more than 180 research papers and articles published in international reputed journals, and about 3 dozens of books have been published. His academic contribution is well documented at national and international level. I am very happy and privileged to introduce Vishwambhar Prasad Sathi sir. I'm thankful and welcome Prasad sir for this particular program. So with this brief introduction, and I do apologize if I have not mentioned any name, with the apologies of to all of them. May I request Professor Milap sir to please allow me to invite speakers to have their words on this occasion.
Please.
Yeah.
Please, Dr.
Thank
Suman.
you. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. May I now request chief guest of the program, Professor Arvind Mulimani, sir, to please speak some words on this occasion. Guide us, sir, please. Professor Arvind Mulimani, sir. Sir, we are not able to listen to you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. Esteemed President of the today's 41st episode online lecture series, Professor Milap Punia sir. We have a very distinguished invited speakers and guest speakers in this esteemed August assembly, which has been confined to deliver a talk on Professor R.C. Chandna, who is an eminent scholar and one of the versatile geographers and noted geographers in India. First of all, I thank Professor and extremely grateful to Professor Devendra Prasad Singh, who is making an effort to bringing the geographers in a different geographers of India in a one platform on online lecture series. The journey was started and now it is been, today it is a 41 episode. We don't know how many episodes we supposed to go ahead in future. Sir, I'm witnessed these episodes. This is the fourth time I'm addressing this episode in these various episodes, which has been given me an opportunity to speak in this August Assembly of the Galaxy of Academicians and reputed scholars we have been joined today. And hope so, everyone is been bringing in a one umbrella. As a chief guest of this today's, I really admire myself, Professor R.C. Chandna sir, who has been dedicated his academic career to geography, and geographical knowledge has been enhanced by his excellence of work has been carried out throughout his career, which has been beautifully narrated by Professor Smita Bhutani ma'am, and she expressed almost all facets of Professor Chandna sir, and fortunately today I had seen him online face because I have not seen him. I am also working in population geography. Still, I am working in the population pressure zones in India, where I am being used his references for the basement of population geography. Really, I should appreciate the dedication of Professor Chandan sir, because only the through literature by reference we understand is the population geography book. But today I came to know that what are the versatile personality of Professor Chandna sir. And we have read and we have been confined ourselves to talk about the themes and traditions in geography. If you look at the historical perspective of geography, we have been very particularly talking about the spatial arrangements and spatial organizations, which are the one of the two important pillars or themes of geography where geography knowledge has been built. But today, the intercessor of founders of makers of modern geography in India by Devendra Prasad made us to interact in the online in a different spaces. The spatial organization theme and spatial arrangement team brought very effectively to the online series of interaction spatially on online series. This is a real geography which has been worked out through the episodes. As a matter of fact, that the population geography has been dissected by Professor Chandna sir in a different dimensions, but population pressure zone is population pressure is being missing in the concept of that, and we have been adding contribution to the population geography by doing effective work for complete the entire task of population geography dimensions, which has been very useful to the future generations. So keeping that in the mind, today's talk is very effective, very useful, very fundamental, and many of the speakers are supposed to speak. I don't want to take much time to talk about the rest, which has been revealing and overwhelming of the Professor R.C. Chandna sir, and there are many scholars to be speak in this occasion. Already time is running in 6:46, but this is a long session, would go in another few minutes. For this, it is a proud privilege for me to be as a chief guest of this Chandna Sir series. I am thankful to all the organizers who have given me an opportunity to be in this session as a part of this session. And thank you very much for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. May I now request a special guest for the day, Professor Atta Ur Rahman, sir, to please a few words on this occasion, sir.
Thank you very much. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please?
Yes, sir. Very much audible, sir. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Sumant, Mr. President of the session, Professor Milab Ponia, Convener, Dr. Sumant, and the speaker, Professor Sumita. I was really impressed from the dedication and commitment by the students of Professor R.C. Chandna. The lecture which was devoted on the founders and makers of modern geography, Panjab University, Chandigarh. I have studied a long list of books, research papers written by R.C. Chandna, and the same I referred and cited in my research papers. When I was a student, I all the time referred the book written by R.C. Chandna, and all the books it was available in the library, seminar library of the Department of Geography, University of Peshawar, Pakistan. Introducing R.C. Chandna, that he was from Multan, Pakistan. Multan is located on the left bank of Chenab River and Ravi River where it confluences. And he migrated from Multan to upstream area of the Ravi and Chenab. So I mean, it's a transboundary migration, and this was one of the addition to his knowledge, which he physically gained while moving from one country to another country. This was another motivation, because he has a long list of publication in the field of population geography. You are claiming that he is from India, but I am claiming I am student from R.C. Chandna. And I am also a student of R.C. Chandna. If he is present in this August lecture, sir, on behalf of the Pakistan Geographical Association, thank you very much for enlightening us in the field of population geography. Your contribution in the field of geography will always be remembered. And your contribution is not only placed in India, but it also placed, and you will find the reflection of your contribution in Pakistan as well. Sir, so many people, so many learned, eminent geographers during partition, they migrated from India to Pakistan, including the Qazi Saiduddin, and so many other eminent geographers. They were graduates of the Aligarh Muslim University, and then they migrated to Pakistan, and then they served in Pakistan for almost 50 years. So you are truly Professor Devendra Prasad Singh. Your contribution will always be remembered. You have organized the 41th lecture series, and it is devoted to the founders and makers of modern geography. And this is a way how to remember our seniors, our eminent geographers, our mentors. If we remember, obviously, our juniors, our students will always remember us. If we contribute for the country, obviously, the country will give us the young geographers and they will remember us. So I do not want to make a barrier between you and the other eminent geographers. Let me tell you, one of my PhD students from Multan, Muhammad Hashim, he is already present and joined this session as well. Muhammad Hashim R.C. Chandna, Professor R.C. Chandna, he was from Multan. Please, if you do not have books written by R.C. Chandra and Bahauddin Zakaria University, Multan, please tell me. I will provide you all the list of books which is available in the seminar library of the Department of Geography and Geomatics, University of Peshawar. I will provide you to become part of the seminar library of the Bahauddin Zakaria University, Multan, Department of Geography. So with these words, I do not want to become barrier between you and the other eminent geographers and the special guest and the chief guest. Thank you all, and thank you, Samant, for giving me the opportunity to be part of this very important gathering and very important virtual conference. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Allah bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. May I now request a special guest for the program, Professor Umesh Mandal, sir, to please say a few words on this occasion. So,
yeah. May I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sumit, to introduce me to say something about the 41 episode of online lecture series on founders and makers of modern geography in India, and it is organized by IERRAD as a director, Professor Devendra Prasad Singh. So we have running 41 episode, and today we have the president. So I would like to salute the president of this 41 episode, Professor Milap Punia, and the chief guest, Professor Arvinda, and then we have the special guest from Professor Attar from Pakistan, and today's speaker, Professor Sumita, and distinguished Professor Aryan Mishra, and Professor B, and Professor B.P. Salt, and Devendra Singh, and then we have the B.R. Pant, and all the distinguished senior and geographers of this platform. So basically, this lecture, this 41 episode is devoted to Professor R.C. Chandna. He is a professor, former professor and chairman of Department of Geography. So his work, his behavior, his style, his contribution, and his mindset is very, very rightly and very metaphorically spoken by our today's speaker, Professor Shamita. So I would like to thank Professor Shamita to spell out regarding the contribution and their development of population geography in India. So it was very rightly spelled out. He was the he is the founder of population geography in India. But I think, as a Professor Attar told, his books of the population geography is also kept not only in India but also in Nepal Central Library, Tirvan University. So I think he is not the geographer from India only, but he is the founder of the population study, population geography, not only in India, but also in our SAARC countries. So, sir, I would like to salute for your devotion, for your contribution to develop the population geography, because the population is a major part of our development, environment, and everything. So, Professor Shamita, very much a good orator about the devoted persons, and it is not only the contribution of the development of the population geography in India, but so many experience from the teacher, so many experience from the students, and she rightly shown the what the students are feeling and experiencing, his behavior, his contribution, and his teaching style to the classroom and outside the classroom. So as a geographer, as a professor, basically is judged by the students. So students are basic judge of a professor, how they behave, how they teach, and how they study and contribute to the subject and such the nation also. So she has shown very, very experienced, very, very feeling letters from the students, how they perceive is our as a teacher, as a professor. So she very good manner, and then very rightly spelled out his contribution as a founder of the population geographer, not only in India, but also SAARC regions, if I say. So this is time to learn from the eminent professors, our seniors, our forefathers. And one learning is today is we are for the giver. We are standing to give something to the motherland, to the country, and to the people of the country. So in this respect, it is very, very moral and lesson we have to learn is that is देश हमें देता है सब कुछ हम भी कुछ देना सीखे. So this is the very, very moral and very, very lesson to us as a junior geographer. We are working for the country. we are working for the people, and we are working for the society. So this message is very, very marvelous for the our generation and the future generation. So we are running the 41 episode, and this episode is organized by one of the pillar of the geographer from the Patna, is the Professor Devendra Prasad Singh. He from the beginning till date is working very hard and making the geographers in one Pangea and platform to connect the views regarding the geography development in their respective country. So I would like to thank Professor Devendra Prasad Singh. He is only pillar of this platform of this episode online series, who made us to meet online and allow us to view how the geography is developing in the SAARC countries. So this is very, 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 very good and very, very important work for the geographers to connect each other, because the geography is a integrated, holistic approach, so that all geographers are meeting together and experiencing their views regarding the geographic problem and their solution. So with this work, I would like to respect all the distinguished senior and professors, geographers, to make this event successful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words. May I now request distinguished guest of the day, Professor R.N. Mishra, sir, to please speak few words on this occasion. Sir.
Good evening to all of you. Professor Smita Bhutani very well expressed her views regarding the significant contribution of Professor R.C. Chandna to the field of geography. As I know, the main areas of research focus in the Department of Geography at the Panjab University, Chandigarh, are population geography, agriculture geography, settlement geography, environmental geography, GIS and remote sensing. Population geography, as I know, was first introduced in India during 1960 by Professor Ghosal at Panjab University, Chandigarh. Panjab University serves as the headquarters of the Association of Population Geographers, which publishes the biannually referred journal Population Geography, which is world famed journal. This university played a pioneering role in the development of population geography, not only in India, but also in the world. This university focuses on major research and teaching in this area. The books on population geography, regional planning, and development authored by Professor R.C. Chandna in both English and in Hindi are highly popular among the students, research scholars, teachers. These books comprehensively cover the syllabus of various universities of India and provide a competitive examination at state and national level. The contribution in the field of population geography, regional planning, environmental geography, and other branches of geography by Professor Ghosal, Professor Chandna, and other senior faculty members of this university will always be remembered. At last, I would like to express my gratitude to Professor Devendra Pratap Singh and his team for providing me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks. May I now invite guest of honor, Dr. Amay Varamban, sir, to please say few words on this occasion. Professor Amay Varamban, sir, please. Sir, are you there?
Facing perhaps some technical problem.
All right, sir. So may I take this opportunity to invite Professor VP Sati sir to please say a few words on this occasion. Sir.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. So, Honorable Chair, senior professors, and distinguished delegates, I feel very honored and privileged of being part of this 41st episode of Founders and Makers of Modern Geography India. The program is running for last 2-3 years by Professor Devendra Prasad Singh ji, a very noble work he is doing. And before to say something, I just thank Professor Devendra Prasad Singh sir for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, about Professor R.C. Chandna, everybody knows about him, and he's widely acclaimed population geographer, and as already very nicely presented by Professor Smita Bhutani, so nicely, and then the way she has made the PPT so decorative and all informative. So yeah, definitely Professor Chandna contribution is geography, not only in population, but we can say it a human geography, another aspect is noteworthy, and we respect him, we salute him also in this age, he is still working. And I don't have anything to say here now, maybe in next point of time. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Professor Satish sir, for your remarks. May I now invite Professor Virendra Singh sir to please say a few words on this occasion. Professor.
He is not present because he is principal of one college of Merit University, and he has been engaged in some urgent work, so he has applied.
Okay, sir. So may I now invite Dr. Anil Roy sir to please say a few words on this occasion. Dr. Anil sir.
Am I audible now? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
please.
Thank you so much for giving this honor to speak on this August gathering, and also the stalwart of geography, especially population geography, Professor R.C. Chandra's, tributes at this particular juncture. And we are fortunate to have him here in this August gathering. So I'm really fortunate enough to say a few words in this August gathering. So I'm overwhelmed to be part of this particular junction. Since I've studied in geography in JNU and in northeastern states, where I first encountered Professor R.C. Chandra's book, Population Geography in India, and that still remains as one of my weapons of professional development at Faculty of Planning, CEPT University, where I teach urban planning, regional planning. Also, the first thing that comes under this profession is to have a population projection, how to deal with the projection, the characteristics. So it's becoming handy to me in every respects, whatever I do here in this transdisciplinary subject called urban planning. So had it not been Professor Chandna's contribution in this field, I would not been standing here and speaking to all of you. So thank you so very much, sir, for inspiring and giving us the assets and the knowledge that will be passed on to next generation through us, through some of us who are directly engaged with the population geography. And this is not India's contribution, it is world contribution. your methods, your contribution is across the boundary. It's not only SARC, but also the world across. I was affiliated to Dalhousie University in Canada and found your books there in that library. So that's the idea of a subject which is universal across the world. So thank you so very much for giving this opportunity. I am more delighted and honored to speak here. Thank you so very much. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Anil, sir, for your nice words. May I now request Professor B.R. Pant, guest of honor, to please say a few words on this occasion. Professor Pant, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. आज के इस गोष्ठी में उपस्थित सभी विद्वानों को मेरा प्रणाम, और समय ज़्यादा न लेते हुए, क्योंकि बहुत कुछ प्रोफेसर आर.सी. चांदना जी के बारे में लोगों ने कह दिया है, और मेरी मुलाकात तो मुझे लगता है कि पंचकुला में एक बार जब एसोसिएशन ऑफ पंजाब जोग्राफर्स के एक सेमिनार हुई थी, वहाँ मुलाकात हुई थी शायद 2012-14 के आसपास। तो वहाँ पर मुझे सभी लोगों से, चाहे प्रोफेसर के.डी. शर्मा थे, गोपाल कृष्ण सर थे, चांदना सर से सबसे मुलाकात हुई थी। मैं तो निश्चित है, जैसा सभी ने कहा, कि उनकी किताबों को पढ़ करके हम लोग आगे को आए हैं, और अभी भी पूरी पीढ़ी जो है कि उन किताबों को पढ़ती है, वो चाहे वो हिंदी भाषी हों, चाहे वो अंग्रेजी भाषी हों, दोनों माध्यमों से आपने इतना अच्छा काम और इतने अच्छा वर्णन लिखा हुआ है कि वो कहीं उपलब्धि ही नहीं होता है। वो एक प्रकार से पॉपुलेशन ज्योग्राफी के लिए एक बिल्कुल गीता की तरह है कि उसको पढ़ना है तभी पॉपुलेशन ज्योग्राफी से नैया पार होनी है। तो इस प्रकार की इम्पोर्टेंट पुस्तक, और मुझे तो अभी बड़ा दुर्भाग्य लग रहा है कि 2021 की जनगणना नहीं आई है, और प्रोफेसर चांदना सर का जो 2011 से 21 के बीच की जो तुलना हम लोगों के बीच में रखते, प्रस्तुत करते कि किस गति से जनसंख्या बढ़ी है, किस जन से फैली है, कैसे कंपोजिशन में चेंजेज आए हैं, कैसे क्या क्या हुआ है, वो बदलाव उनके हाथ से लिखा हुआ हमको नहीं मिल पा रहा है। अब उन्होंने प्रोजेक्शन कुछ किया है, लेकिन जो चीज़ जनगणना से होनी चाहिए थी, 2021 की जनगणना, अभी तक मुझे लगता था कि चांदना सर के बहुत सारे रिसर्च पेपर जो हैं, वो चाहे ग्रोथ से आते, चाहे वो लिटरेसी से आता, चाहे वो सेक्स कंपोजिशन से आते, कई सारी डिस्पैरिटीज से वो अभी तक लेख हम लोगों के सामने पढ़ने के लिए उपलब्ध हो जाते हैं। क्योंकि हम उनके लेखों को पढ़ने के बाद जब वो हरियाणा में काम करते हैं, पंजाब में काम करते हैं, तो उसको लेकर के हम फिर अपने प्रदेशों में, चाहे उत्तराखंड हो, चाहे हिमालय हो, चाहे दूसरे राज्यों हो, वहाँ उसको इम्प्लीमेंट, वहाँ उससे तुलना कर करके काम करने की कोशिश करते हैं। वो हमारे बिल्कुल एक टॉर्च बियरर हैं। मुझे चांदना सर से बहुत लंबे समय के बाद आज इसी गैदरिंग में दिखाई दे रहे थे, और वो सुन भी रहे होंगे, और मैं अपनी ओर से बहुत कुछ समय बर्बाद न करते हुए ये चाहूँगा कि जैसे ही 2021 की जनगणना का जब भी जो कोई डेटा आता है, वो उसका विश्लेषण जरूर करेंगे। ज़्यादा समय न लेते हुए उनकी दीर्घायु की, उनके स्वस्थ रहने की कामना करते हुए, और पुनः मैं देवेंद्र प्रसाद सिंह जी का और इस पूरी जो हमारी ये पूरी वेबिनार में जितने लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, सबका धन्यवाद भी ज्ञापित करता हूं कि इसी प्रकार से नई पीढ़ी के लिए हम लोग, निश्चित है कि नई पीढ़ी आजकल बहुत शॉर्टकट में हो गई है, कट पेस्ट वाली हो गई है, बहुत नहीं पढ़ती है। उनके सामने कुछ चीज़ें रख जाएं कि वो उनको पढ़ें, उन रेफरेंसेस को देखें, किताबों को पढ़ें, तो शायद कुछ भूगोल का विकास आगे को होगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डीबी सिंह सर, और आज के कार्यक्रम के संयोजक सुमंत औडोले जी, आज के कार्यक्रम के चेयरमैन पूनिया सर, सभी लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। Thank you very much sir for your inspiring words. May I now invite
1 minute sir, 1 minute. Now Professor Imbabraman is here.
Okay.
He may be requested to speak.
Yeah. May I request Professor Amera Varamban sir to please say a few words on this occasion. Sir, over to you. Professor?
You are not. It's audible?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, very much. Please, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. First of all, I must thank the whole team of DP, the DP Singh sir, for giving this good opportunity to interact with the geographical fraternity all over India. Now, I think all eminent professors and scholars are connected well through this lecture series. Today's lecture series on R.C. Chandna. I know R.C. Chandna through his population geography book. I studied, I used his book to write the assignment, and I refer his book to write the examination. That's level only I know Dr. R.C. Chandna. I think I know that he is very eminent fellow in geography. He written so many books and research articles. Today, a series on R.C. Chandana. I thank the whole team of Dr. D.P. Singh and everyone. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks. May I now request President for the program, Professor Milap, sir, for his presidential comments.
Sir,
So, over to you, sir.
Sir, before the presidential address,
okay, sir.
I need 2 minutes for some information.
Yes, sir. I am going to. Okay, before him, I'll invite you. May I now invite intercessor of the program and the binding force of all of us, Professor Devendra Prasad Singh, sir, to please brief all the participants on this occasion. Sir.
Thank you, sir, very much. And good evening to you, all of you once again. I have only to announce three of our future program. Number one, we are going to organize the 42nd episode on 27th of August this year. And it will be devoted to one senior professor of Bombay University, Professor one senior professor of Bombay University, Professor Sita from Bombay University. And on the 10th of September this year, we will organize our 43rd episode, and it will be devoted to one of the founders of geography in India from Chennai, Professor Iravathi. And Professor Kumaraswamy will speak on Professor Iravathi on 10th of September this year. And we have requested our today's president, Professor Mira Punya sir, that about 6 volumes of founders and makers of modern geography in India will be released perhaps in the month of November under the chairmanship of Professor Punya Sahab. And he has assured that he will cooperate us for its releasing function in his own department, or his own center in JNU. And we have now about 90 chapters. We have completed 99 chapters on 90 senior peoples of our country. And one more announcement we have, that the first conference of South Asia Geographer Association will be organized in the Magadhan city of Bodh Gaya sometimes in February. And Professor Ataur Rahman from Pakistan Association of Geographers, Professor Umesh Mandal Sahab from Nepal Association of Geographers, and several senior professors, dynamic geographers from all over the South Asian countries will be there in Bodh Gaya, perhaps in the month of February next year. Thank you, sir, very much. These were some announcements we have, which we have to announce now to the convener, and you may ask Prof. Chairman for his presidential address.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. May I now request President of the program, Professor Milap, sir, to please give his presidential comments. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sumant Muttade, for nicely convening today's 41st lecture as a part of series of founders and makers of modern geography organized by Institute of Environmental Research and Rural Development, Patna. And also, I thank Professor Devendra Prasad Singh for hosting this event in an online manner. At a given time, there were about more than 100 people interacting and listening on this particular day, where Professor Samita Bhutani presented a very brief view on the contribution from Professor R.C. Chandna ji. I'm fortunate enough to meet him during a Inca conference organized by Professor Suryakant somewhere around, say, a decade ago. And I got his blessings then, along with blessing from Professor Gopal Krishna ji. Sir, I really thank you for your gracious presence today. We all got benefited from your blessings, and I'm sure you will continue to do so. Now, I'm not going to take much time because most of the speakers, invited speakers, guests, they all have spoken, and also from the faculty members from Department of Geography, Panjab University, they have also spoken about Professor Chandna. And especially their presence, because we know geography departments are very dynamic, and Panjab University is one of the oldest university of this country. So their presence has definitely made this today's event more fruitful, and this reflects the love, affection, and the cohesiveness that what Professor Chandna has been always talking about, that he left behind in the department. Now, I don't think this is like any association's presidential address. It's more like we are chairing the session. So I don't want to take more time at this junction because it's more than now, it's 7:20. We have taken more than 2 hours, and it's for a, attention, proper attention on the devices. I think I would request that Professor Devendra Prasad may throw more light on it, I think, for closing of the program, right? So I thank you one and all again for joining on today's lecture, and special thanks, and we would like to continue to get the blessings from Professor R.C. Chandna, a living legend. Thank you all.
Sir, thank you very much, Professor Milap, sir, for your comments. With the permission of the President, sir, may I invite Dr. Navneet Kaur, ma'am, for formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Suman. Good evening, all. Most respected and my revered teacher, Professor R.C. Chandna, Professor Arvind Malimani, distinguished guests, special guests, academicians, my esteemed teachers, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my most honored duty to present a vote of thanks on the 41st episode of online lecture series on founders and makers of modern geography in India, organized by the Institute of Environmental Research and Rural Development, Patna, Bihar. First of all, I heartily thank our President, Professor Milap Punia, former Chairperson CSRD, JNU, for his presidential remarks. I am especially beholden to Professor Arvind Mulimani, Professor and Chairperson, Department of Geography, Karnataka University, for accepting our request to be the chief guest for today's lecture series. I extend grateful thanks to distinguished guest, Professor R.N. Mishra, and our special guest, Professor Ataur Rahman, Professor Umesh Kumar Mandal, for their presence and remarks. My sincere thanks to our guests of honors for today evening, Professor V. Amaryavas, Department of Geography, Kamraj University, Dr. B.R. Pant, former Head, Department of Geography, MB Government PG College, Professor V.P. Sati, Central University, Mizoram, and Dr. Anil Roy, Faculty of Planning, CEPT University, Ahmedabad, for gracing the occasion by their presence. I'm extremely grateful to my revered teacher, Professor Smita Bhutani, former chairperson, Department of Geography, Panjab University, Chandigarh, for delivering Professor R.C. Chandna lecture today evening. The eminent speaker covered every aspect of the
Hello, madam.
I think Sumant, we lost the connection.
Oh.
Oh.
So, sir,
She's back. I think she's back with another connection.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Madam, kindly unmute yourself.
I hope I can be heard.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Please go ahead. Please go
Please,
Am I
madam.
audible?
Yes, madam.
Am I audible, please?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam. Audible. Yes, madam. Audible. You can talk.
She might not hear us. That may be
Wrong with
a
my
problem.
desktop. I'm extremely sorry. So I'm grateful to my revered teacher, Professor Smita Bhutani, former chairperson, Department of Geography, Panjab University, Chandigarh, for delivering Professor R.C. Chandna lecture today evening. The eminent speaker covered every aspect of the academic journey as well as personal life of Professor Chandna. Ma'am, it was indeed a thorough research, and each word you spoke came straight from the heart, and I could feel it. My thanks are due to the convener, Dr. Suman, Assistant Chairperson, Department of Geography, Panjab University, Chandigarh. Thanks to the intercessor, Professor Devinder P. Singh. Thanks to the organizing secretaries, Dr. Amrish Kumar Rai and Dr. Amit Kumar. I shall be failing in my duty if I do not express my gratitude to all the faculty members, esteemed colleagues from different departments and organizations, my teachers and students for their presence. I thank each and everyone who helped in organizing today's events and joined today's program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam, for your nice vote of thanks. May I request President Professor Milap sir to please permit me to conclude this program with national anthem. So,
Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, sir. May I request all the respected teachers and dignitaries to please rise in their places for national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे भारत माता की जय. So with the permission of chair, can we conclude the session, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much all for joining this program. Thank you very much, sir, madam.